Any other questions for you?
No, I'm good for now. I guess this wouldn't be the time, you know, like Councillor Basil, you know, talking about inflation rate for Canada. I guess this wouldn't be the time that we would say, oh, what would it look like if we, I don't know, had a 5% reduction? Could we put a motion in like that?
So that's essentially what we have up there right now. So this is the, are you talking specifically to an area or just overall?
Overall.
Yeah, so that's the referral, is to ask what would it look like. That's what this referral motion is referring to. So it's referring to different potential mill rates and then asking for what those implications would, exactly like you said, what would that look like? So
Yeah, I was thinking more of 5% reduction overall.
I think we have that.
I can ask for that.
So 13.5 minus 5? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Or you're saying a 5, or you're saying a negative 5%? Okay. Okay, I wouldn't want to put that up as a part of this amendment.
No.
I would ask to do it as a separate referral, but I'll maybe just ask Mr. Anderson to comment on that. But so you're looking for a minus 5% on the mill rate, is that correct?
I guess there'd be things attached to it, like, you know, just if we would do attrition, you know, kind of like what the government of Canada is talking about, you know. They'd have to find a way, I know that, but I mean.
I guess just to be clear, are you looking for are you looking for 2026 minus 5%? Okay, so I'll just maybe ask Mr. Anderson to comment on that quick before we put that up. Go ahead.
So through the chair, yeah, we could, as a team, work on giving you what it would mean if we had a mill rate increase of minus 5%. 5%.
Point of clarification. Through the chair,
Yeah.
To my colleague, are you looking for the numbers, Councillor Rashovich, on a 5% reduction in our budget or a 5% reduction in mill rate? Like a negative mill rate of 5, like?
Yeah, negative.
I think just some clarification through the chair so we can understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Councillor Rasmus.
Or I could wait to the end because.
No. Yeah, we'll have to do it now because it's your only chance to, like, this is your time right now to do it. So we got to make sure we get it.
I just meant overall, like, because we haven't heard the other two presentations yet, so maybe I should wait to the end.
Yeah, so it'd have to be divided in pieces. So this is specific to the operating budget. So you could do that now for the operating, like the general operating, and then you could do it again for the capital utility.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? You'd have to do multiple scenarios depending on those different budget types. So.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do operating, sure.
Okay, so you're looking for a negative 5%.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, operating budget. Sure. If that's
Okay,
easier.
can you just say it one more time?
Yeah, 5% in operating budget.
You're saying
Minus.
Okay, not 5% off of the forecast. You're saying
No.
the existing budget today.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to ask Mr. Anderson to maybe ask this in a better way.
5% off the existing budget, I guess, for 2026.
Based on the baseline of today, what are the implications?
Would that be like 65
Yeah.
or 7 against 45?
So
Go ahead.
through the chair, yeah, if I understand this correctly, he'd be looking for a reduction of approximately $55 million in our total spending of our operating budget.
Would it be more clear to put it in that context, Mr. Anderson, or leave it as the? Sorry, I guess we were working that out.
Either through the chair, either way works. So if he wants to do it in a dollar value of a $55 million savings off our current forecast or minus 5%, either way, it's the same thing.
Okay. Okay, just give us 1 second.
No. It could be 5% off what they're predicting for 2026 with taxation revenues coming in, right? You know, whether it's provincial money and everything coming in. I think my thing's on.
Well, we're kind of gonna get there with those four options. So here's one of the options, withdrawal increases.
Withdrawal increases.
But they're less than 13 and a half.
But I think that's what Dennis direct clarity is, he looking for 5%, which is, already covered this, 5.5% and correctly baseline budget today. He's wondering what the implications of reducing our budget by 5%, our baseline of today, which is $55 million. So he's some clarification. So I think the way to frame it is based upon baseline operating budget of today. What are the implications of reducing that by 5%?
Yeah.
I think that's what he comes.
I like the dollar amount.
Yeah, 55. Let's see.
Yeah, let's take a 5-minute recess just to get this, or sorry, 15-minute recess. Okay, I'll ask the clerk if we can put Councillor Rashovich as a referral up on the screen. Okay, Councillor Rashovich, can you take a look at that and see if that makes sense to you? Mr. Anderson, does that make sense as a referral?
Through
Go
the
ahead.
chair, yes, we understand what that referral would mean and we can prepare that.
Okay, thank you. Do you have a point of clarification, Councillor Sickleys, or just, it doesn't need a seconder? Because we're just adding to the list of referrals, so yeah, it's all good. Okay, and I will just ask that we would vote on those two separately. And okay, and you have about a minute 40 left, Councillor Rashovich. Did you have anything further?
No, I'm done.
You're good?
I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll go to Councillor Mancinelli. Go ahead.
Through the chair to Councillor Rashovich, in regards to point 2, is that an actual goal for budget, or are you just looking for information to understand better the composition of what that would look like and how that would affect the residents you?
Be something that, yeah, it might be, because once maybe we see numbers of how our budget's been increasing over the last 5 years, why not? I mean, maybe there, you know what, if there's things that we're doing that we shouldn't be doing as a city, you know, we can cut back. Like, you know what, I'm gonna bring back the potted plants. I know people think $50,000 is nothing, but it's a culture.
Yeah.
Anyways, we can debate, I guess, but
Not trying to debate.
No,
I'm trying to
but-
decide if I want to support it
Oh.
or not, and what it's looking to elicit for information. Through the chair, I'm just wondering, when administration does work, what kind of money does it cost to put these forecasts together? Through the chair to administration.
Would like to take that, Mr. Anderson? Go ahead.
Thank you through the chair. Thank you for the question, Councillor. This is a significant amount of work for us as a senior leadership team. These aren't easy things to accomplish, given everything that the city does. So when we get to something as sizable as an 18.5%, it's going to take hundreds of hours of time internally for us to do this. Costing, if we were to cost it out, it would be in the 6 figures for sure.
So a 6-figure report that would turn into.
Yeah.
Thank you. Through the chair, $55,000 for potted plants, $55 million reduction for 5% on top of the 40 already. I can't support point 2 because I don't think it's I don't think it's a real ask. I can't imagine pulling $100 million out of the budget and spending $100,000 on a report to tell me that I would crash the city and reduce all the services We've gotten, with this council, a year's worth of reports on the state of our assets and the lack of investment in them. To reduce that this much on top, I just can't even imagine. And I can't imagine asking that kind of work out of administration either when we're trying to have budget reductions. When we write motions and say our words and they get passed, that's someone who has to do that work afterwards, and I think we should always be respectful of that in this horseshoe and remember that that work costs money, that money goes on to budgets, and we have to pay for those budgets with mill rates. So just to comment on what's going on so far today. Appreciate the First Amendment put up. I look forward to that information. I think it's warranted. Through the chair, if it's in line, I realize that I talked a little bit directly about amendment Councillor Rashovich made, and he might had a comment to make. Am I allowed to ask him if he had anything?
Yeah, you can.
Please, I didn't want to be rude to him, and I saw him, so I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, go ahead, Councillor Rashovich.
I just want to hear back from your.
Yeah, I heard you.
Yeah,
You
no.
seem to want to have to say something, so.
I, gonna be honest, like, when you, Mr. Anderson, when you said to do something like that, it's gonna cost six figures, $100,000 to get a report back? Is that?
Mr. Anderson, go ahead.
Through the chair, so yeah, that would be a cost estimate of our internal time being spent on this versus being spent on other priority projects.
So-
And just to clarify while I have the floor.
Yeah.
It would be a total reduction of 61.1 million roughly from our current forecast, or roughly 16 million from 2025's operating budget, and a total of $61 million worth of cuts we'd have to go find.
So what's, I guess, because it related to your question.
You can comment right now, but it's my turn for questions.
Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, was that, because you just want to make sure, do you had a comment with
Yeah,
respect to
like-
that, Councillor Rashovich specifically?
Okay, that's kind of $100,000. I'm like, wow. I guess that's my kind of my comment, you know, and I'm like, But I guess I guess like say, so how much? All these different things we're asking you to do, the total of all those got to be over $100,000.
So, well,
guess that's
he
like
said it was approximately $61 million in cuts, right? If that 18.5%. So
but-
that's the ratio you're talking about, right? Is $100,000 work and then those
Hey, I was
cuts.
being polite, but I want to talk too.
I guess what I'm wondering is if that one little line number 2 is worth $100,000, how about all the other all the questions we've been asking here over the last
I
3
can
times?
answer that if I can go back to
ahead.
speaking.
Yeah.
So point
Go
number
ahead.
1 is the job that administration does every year. They had a 13.5% forecast. That forecast is usually behind closed doors for the next 3 months. They sharpen their pencils, they do their job, they start eliminating, finding efficiencies, reorganizing, replanning positions, and they start bringing that mill rate down. They've been doing that for 100 years. Point number 2, well, we've all talked about the zeros and how they affected our job as councillors today by having zero budgets a decade and a half ago. To have a -5 budget and a 55 million reduction speaks to how much work they would have to do, because that's not business as usual. That's rewriting the whole playbook. That is changing the whole face of a city. That is rethinking if we actually offer services in many, many categories, or maybe we just start selling off assets to reach it. That's not business as usual. That's why that's so expensive, because it would be a re-engineering of the whole composition of what we know. So that's why I can't support point 2. It's I want stability. I want the same childhood for children now that I had in the future. And I don't want to pull everything out from under them because I want to be cheap. I want to provide a great quality of life, just like the city of Regina and my parents in the province of Saskatchewan provided for me. And I don't want to throw it away over 10 cents or a headline. So that's where my heart comes from. That's all I got to say. Thanks.
Okay, I'm just going to go to the acting city manager. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to emphasize to members, Ed Admin is not here to debate whether this motion is good, bad, or indifferent. We will do whatever council directs us to do. What I do want to emphasize, though, is, particularly with number 2, there is a significant amount of work done, because I think actually Councillor Mancinelli articulated it very well. What I do want to impress upon members of council, as well as the public, is we can do that work. The results are going to be stark. So I don't want anybody to think that we can tinker around and find money hither and there without impacting particular areas or many areas, many services without significant repercussions or implications. So I just want to be clear, we're not here to debate. I just want to alert everybody that when that report comes, should number 2 pass, I don't want anybody to smack their head and go, oh, wow, who asked for that or where'd that come from? It will be stark.
Okay, thank you for that. I'll go to Councillor Sickleys. Go ahead.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor. Our homeowners are facing stark decisions too. Let's not forget that. And I'm here to represent them. That's all I'll say about that.
Councillor Flores, go ahead.
Thank you. Through the chair, I just need to make a quick comment related to what was put forward earlier to this really large cut, because it really worries me for us to ever entertain something like this, because I feel like this type of cut is not necessarily savings, it's borrowing from the future, and at a much higher interest rate. And to me, it seems like we have seen how not keeping up with the cost of, let's say, infrastructure maintenance and things like that, in an effort to reduce a mill rate, how that has impacted us today. And we're having to make these really hard decisions as a byproduct of not doing what should have been done in the past. And I don't want to do that to future councillors and to residents in the future, because this will just come back and it'll be a cycle of having to do that over and over again if we can't catch up to the costs that need to be met to be able to provide the services that our residents deserve. So it's just something that is, to me, it's worrisome. And as we've heard, it's a large cost to even bring that report. But I feel like we've all have enough evidence from seeing where we're at today as a result of what's happened in the past. So there's that.
Okay, with that, that is everybody. So I know Dave has a point of clarification, or sorry, Councillor Flores, my apologies, has a point of clarification. Point of clarification. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. Through the chair, just a point of clarification through the chair to admin. I'm trying to just determine how I'll vote on number 2, so just so I understand it. I mean, I certainly won't vote to gut our services and staff. I think we'll make Regina unlivable and create a long-term massive tax hike. But I do want to know, I do want the information. I'm not suggesting Councillor Rashovich wants that either, by the way. I think he wants the information. So I guess my question is, what would that report look like? Would it include things like how many staff, say how many police officers we'd have to cut, or like things like how much we'd reduce snow removal and mosquito control, or how much we'd slow down our building permit process? Like, would it be that type of information so we could have a healthy conversation? I guess the second part to my question, and that's all I have, because I am interested in the information. I think it will create actually a very healthy conversation, although I won't vote for that reduction. Is there like a time or approach that may not be as expensive or in depth, but would allow us to have a conversation about, listen, if we're going to reduce the budget by this much, these are truly the consequences. Maybe there's some benefits, but these are truly the consequences, short and long term, of a budget cut like that. I actually think it's a reasonably healthy conversation to have.
Okay, Acting City Manager, I'll start with you.
Thank you, Mayor. You're right, Councillor Fro. We will provide the information to facilitate the discussion and understanding of both council and the general public that the money that they get, or the money that is provided to the city to operate, where it goes and what it would mean to reduce. And so, as I said, I use the word stark. If we are looking at a magnitude of, say, $60 or so million, we're not going to find that by cutting pens and reducing travel. Doesn't mean those don't contribute, but they are such a small component of it that we are going to be putting out for your consideration with we're not putting the value on it in terms of whether it's important or not to you. We're just saying, if you want to reach this quantum of $60-some million, there's going to be some big ticket items in there, and we will outline what those implications are. And as I said earlier, it will then, I think, quite appropriately lead to a review and analysis of what number 5 did in terms of the resident service requests. But this is to inform the public that this is what you get for the services that you
Yeah,
pay
and I think
for.
one last point for clarification, I think the term maybe $100,000 was thrown out in terms of cost to get the answer to number 2. I assume we're talking about what we would value staff time as opposed to external professional services. I don't want to discount the workload that may put on staff, but I do think this is healthy information to have. Is that assumption correct?
Mr. Anderson?
Yes, through the chair, that is correct. If we were to go external, I would imagine it would be even more than that, but it's a significant internal cost.
Okay, thank you for that. So as a referral motion, it'll be voted on. There is no debate on the items, so, and we will have point number 2 as a separate vote. Okay? So with that, I'm gonna look to the clerk to say which, are we voting on first, number 2 or the? Okay, so we're gonna vote on number 2, point number 2 first, and then the balance of the items. So we'll be asking the clerk to start the vote on point number 2. So there's no debate on it, and you've put your motion forward. Is it a clarification point? Okay. Okay, this was, yeah, so we've already started the vote on it, and I think that we've had a healthy addressing of what this looks like, so I think we need to get through the vote here. Okay, I think let's talk after about procedure and we'll take that offline. We're voting on point number 2. Councillor Turnbull, can I get your verbal vote, please?
For number 2
For number 2.
No.
Through you, Mayor, point number 2 is carried in a vote of 7-3, with the following members voting in favor as follows: Councillor Fro, Sickleys, Bezo, Burton. Actually, my apologies. The vote result was carried in a vote of 6-4 because Councillor Turnbull voted verbally against the motion. So the following members voting in favor are as follows: Councillors Fro, Sickleys, Bezo, Burton, Radins, and Rashovich. Those voting against were Councillors Mancinelli, Turnbull, Flores, and Mayor Bashinsky.
Thank you.